Less than 2 weeks until the Michigan Republican presidential primary, and Mitt Romney's feeling the pressure in his home state. His opponent, Rick Santorum, has surged in statewide polls and taken Michigan by storm. Bloomberg's Washington executive editor Al Hunt talked to Senate Budget Committee Chairman Kent Conrad about Rick Santorum. Let's listen to what he had to say about his former colleague.
Rick is somebody that has no doubts about his position and very little interest in the views of those who disagree with him. I think that would be my take on how Senator Santorum conducted himself with his colleagues when he was in the Senate. Absolutely unyielding and uncompromising.
And that was Senate Budget Committee Chairman Kent Conrad on Rick Santorum. Al Hunt's in Washington. And Al, what was your takeaway from the entire interview with Senator Conrad?
Well, on this particular point, Mark, it is that Senator Santorum does not play well with his classmates. He was not a very popular figure in the Senate. Now, that cuts both ways. That raises questions about how effective he would be governing. But on the other hand, I think the Republican base will say, yeah, that's great. I like a guy who didn't get along with those people in the Senate because we don't like him. So he is a controversial figure, and he was when he was in the United States Senate.
Let's turn to the issue of the nation's deficit. Let's hear right now what Senator Conrad had to say about the budget stalemate in Washington. Let's listen in.
If Europe tanks and begins to drag us down, it may become an acute situation that requires a response. Second possibility is Israel attacking Iran. That could create a big run-up in oil prices. That could have dramatic economic effects and also require a fuller long-term response.
Al, what's Senator Conrad suggesting here?
Well, it's pretty disquieting. He is saying that there is a chance to do something about the deficit. He's a longtime deficit hawk, but only if there's a crisis. If there's a global financial crisis caused by Europe, or if there's a conflict in Iran, in the Middle East. Otherwise, it could be very hard to do anything substantive about the deficit this year.
Bloomberg's Washington editor Al Hunt joining us. Al, thank you so much.